Good evening. Welcome to this Thursday, July 24th, 2025 Towns Council work session. We'll have a call to order and take a roll call. Robbie Wilson.
Here.
Beth Justice.
Here.
Mary Hanson.
Here.
Bill Goldsmith is here. Larry Tuning.
Here.
Marjorie Austin.
Here.
Having a quorum, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sorry, Larry, I'm taking up a lot of room tonight. I'm spreading out.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Public comment. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
All right. With no one talking, there won't be a response. All right. Action item 1, ordinance 001-2025.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, ladies and gentlemen. This first action item this evening is a zoning request made by Zach Lipinski representing Holinsky Properties. It's been updated, the staff report's been updated to note that the council held a public hearing on May 22nd, received input from the public. Council voted unanimously to defer action until June 12 in order to receive more information from staff. On June 12, council voted to defer action to tonight's meeting. While it was stated that a second public hearing would need to be held, staff is relying on Code of Virginia, Section 15.2, 2285, which notes a second public hearing must be held if the application is altered to a more intensive use or density. That not being the situation here, council may proceed to act to approve with conditions, and you have a resolution in your packet that would cover those two options. Deny, a resolution has been placed at your seats this evening, prepared by the town attorney, received today, or defer. I will note that the applicant has requested a deferral until August the 14th, 2025, per email dated June 26, 2025. At this point in time, I'd be happy to take any questions you have regarding the application.
I have no questions in the application. I do have a question procedurally in that, do we have to entertain and make any motion with respect to approving or denying the deferral to the August 14th, or do we just ignore that and move on?
We don't have an August 14th. That's tonight. We didn't. Right?
That's
His question is, do you have to act on the request?
I
Right.
see.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I think whatever action you take tonight,
Negate.
well,
kind of would,
so if we vote on it,
one way or the other, that kind of moots the request for denial. I mean, for deferral.
okay, all right. And so I think it is the intent of the council to move forward on this. And I would entertain a motion to ask for the three choices, or
And
do
I apologize, Mr. Mayor, should have said, the town attorney advises that you only need to make a motion referencing the resolution.
Okay,
You don't have to read it word for word.
What about the second?
That's whichever resolution you choose to.
Okay.
act on. You just need to reference the title, and you don't have to read the whole thing.
Okay.
right. But with respect to that, do I entertain a motion for one of the actions?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion to either approve with conditions, or to deny.
I will make the motion for the resolution to deny 2025-SUP-01, a request for an accessory dwelling unit at 181 West Avenue, tax map number 20A-27-C.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any further discussion? And I'm assuming that should be a voice vote on this? with the resolution? Doesn't hurt. Marjorie Austin.
Yes.
Larry Tuning.
Yes.
I say yes.
Yeah.
Mary Hanson, Beth Justice.
Yes.
Robbie Wilson.
Yes.
The resolution to deny is passed. All right. Moving on to the next item. Work session matters. Over to Mr. Costa.
Excuse, I'm sorry, could we explain to folks what we mean by the motion to deny? That we're not denying he cannot put something there,
Correct.
but it has to
We are-
be one or
He's
the
allowed to
other
do the standard,
buildings.
the standard functions of the lot,
Right.
and additional dwelling units have not been approved.
Yes, so it's one.
All right, the next item is discussion of potential amendments to the zoning ordinance. The town zoning ordinance has been updated over the years to address specific sections. However, the original ordinance has not been comprehensively updated since about 1991. Citizens have expressed concerns with sections of the ordinance, and the Code of Virginia has also changed. Tonight's discussion will focus on some of those concerns. Of note, the height in the B2 district and additional dwelling unit standards. Staff would also like to suggest consideration of a particular use in the B2 district. There's really no fiscal impact at this time on the discussion. And if we can proceed, the first item you have in your packet is the communication from Mr. Weicker regarding the height in the B2 district. And apparently this goes back to some concerns regarding development as far back as, prior years of a condominium development that was eventually turned down. I don't know if you want me to lay all these out or take them one by one.
What do you mean, Ted Lay?
Do you want me to address the next ones concerning the additional dwelling units? And then
Each of them as you cover them so that we
Okay.
can track.
I think that makes sense.
all right, well,
Thank you.
essentially you have Mr. Weiker's request here. This was brought forward the last month, and because there were several members not in attendance, you all decided to push this one back a little bit. But essentially his concern is having structures built in the B2 district being at the height of 35 feet would block some people's access to the water. I've given this some thought, and there's another option here that might be an overlay district that within so many feet of so you're not singling out a district, you're singling out the geographic consideration, which is within so many feet of the shoreline back, the height limit is set a little bit lower. That's a thought.
Yes.
So
So,
We don't need to decide on this.
you don't need to decide it tonight.
okay, so I mean, are you just trying to gauge our interest on? each
Yes, I am.
individual
Yeah.
item?
Do you want to pursue this or not pursue?
I am, this is one of the reasons why I ran for this office.
Mhm.
So let's say that yes for Robbie.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
Or shall staff draft something that focuses just on the B2, or do you want to consider
The same,
an
the layout
overlay
that you
district?
said.
The technicalities of it, I would say, I defer to your expertise, how to do it,
Straight.
right?
I would say what your thoughts were when you came up with something.
Is is it just going to be with regard to building height in the overlay district, or is it also going to deal with the conversion of residential in B2? Which I think is part of the other question, as opposed to, in other words, converting commercial B2 property
Oh, I
to
see.
residential.
Well, you all do have the power to zone or not zone. So if somebody's asking for a rezoning from commercial to residential,
Uh-huh.
you can say no.
And we already have that ability to do.
Right. And then
That's
if they come in with the special use permit process, And there's one case that I can think of where it's kind of convoluted because you read the B2 and it says you can do these uses by special use permit out of this district.
Okay,
So you go to read that district.
uh-huh.
And then it says you can do these uses because they're in this district. So you literally are taking 3 steps back to find out what the answer is over here.
Right.
Okay,
So is there a way for us to simplify that?
yes, simply by listing the use under the district
Mm-hmm.
that you want it to happen in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rather than see section XYZ and you go to section XYZ and it says to go to ABC and now it's,
Okay.
it just spirals down.
okay.
All right, so you do want to consider the overlay district approach.
Yes.
When you say overlay district, are
Mhm.
you referring to waterfront?
Waterfront.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So within so many feet of the shoreline, that would be the overlay district, and that, in that area,
You're capped at a lower
cap-
height.
you cap the
Yep.
height.
Now, what that measurement is, we can work through that in terms of, is it 300 feet? Is it 500 feet?
Okay.
Just, is it one lot back? What is the?
Okay.
And a standard 2-story house would fit within the 24 feet that was,
Standard 200, well, yeah, 24 would sit, yeah. Okay,
I should know that, but I'm thinking that the 36 feet that are 35 feet would be a 3-story structure.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is futuristic, but I think it's important. we
Yes.
Yeah.
do it. I need to look into it because I mean, the issue over nowhere, no public access,
Yeah.
is bad enough in Urbana and Middlesex. But we
To
don't want to
add-
get
to
to a
add
point
blinders
that,
to it.
that
Yeah.
there's no public view.
Right,
of the
Right.
water.
right.
So I think it's something we need to look into.
I do too. Is
W-
this anything where, I know some localities have in their zoning, mostly cities, protection of view shed?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so.
It would be
that
similar. It would be
Yeah.
similar.
Would that be
Similar.
part of the
Mhm.
approach? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What about if, say, and this is just, say, the owners of Irby, if the Andersons decided in that big old parking lot to put a condos there or something, is that part of this that we're talking about now?
Well, it could be, it
Okay.
could be, it
Okay.
could be. But it would also be anywhere, if you went the overlay district route, so you're not singling out a particular zoning district.
Right.
You're saying, you're tying it to the land feature, if
Right.
you will, the shoreline, and coming back that way.
Okay.
So it would impact
All zoning
all zoning,
in with.
Okay.
which would be your R1, you've got R1 on the waterfront, you've got R2 on the waterfront.
Right.
You've got,
B2.
the B2 is your commercial waterfront.
Mhm.
And the overlay district concept is not new here. I mean, you have your Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act.
Right.
That's an overlay district. You have the historic overlay district. So it would just be another layer depending on where you are.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
34 feet, what do we have at 34 feet high? The bank building, I mean, the, Jones.
Yeah, the
The
one,
the bank building, I would think be 40 maybe.
I'd probably say that's at least a 3-story.
yeah, that's 3.
So that's probably the tallest building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about some of the houses down on the point? They got heights, mainly because they got stilts on.
They're still
Really?
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
May not be a big
And,
comparison.
and that would be something you have to consider is, are you going to
You do.
factor that in?
Because when Ray Watson was here, those buildings were 2-story, but they had the under part to park the cars and that took them up higher.
About 3 stories.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's also,
Yeah, but there's nowhere else to
And you
build
see
down
that
there.
a lot of waterfront community. I can tell you, Sandbridge, there's condominium units that the ground level is the parking deck, and then you go up into your,
Mhm.
well, I wouldn't want to live down there on 1 story, sitting on the sand.
Mm-mm.
And Mr. Weiker's pictures indicate that
So
as well.
So it
Yeah.
must be, more that you would measure as opposed to stories or feet of the dwelling itself that you'd have to measure from, ground to.
Yeah.
correct.
A
Top,
peak.
yeah,
Yeah.
to peak. Yeah.
all right, so I'm going to pursue the overlay district on that one. All right, the other one is near and dear to everybody's heart. This is the additional dwelling unit language. And Ms. Hanson put me onto some legislation. There was a piece of legislation that went in this past General Assembly that passed that said localities may, so it's optional, consider tiny houses and additional dwelling units as part of their comprehensive plan. And that passed, but that's about all it said.
Yes.
Okay, it didn't set out any criteria of what is a tiny house, what is an ADU in terms of like square footage and those sorts of things. However, there was another bill put in that failed, and candidly, I'm glad it failed
Yes.
because it basically took away from the localities any ability to regulate accessory dwelling units or, well, specifically accessory dwelling units. It went through a list of, gave you some criteria of what an accessory dwelling unit, and I'm just going to pick a couple. Let's see, no ADU with a height that exceeds 80% of the allowable height for a single-family dwelling on the lot or a height of the primary building. So basically, if you had a 3-story house on a lot, the ADU could only be 80% of that height. Okay, so
Or if it's
Um,
a single-story house.
you got to see, well,
Keep the
Uh,
doghouse next to your house.
Have a low
Uh,
ceiling.
I guess you're going to have to enter the ADU hunched over. That's the only thing I know you can do. Yeah, crawl in. Yeah, it's a nice crawl space. Um, um, owner occupancy of the ADU or the primary dwelling, but not both. So it had a list of things here. But again, it was it basically took the land use authority away from the locality.
Right.
And that bill
Became by
died.
right instead of.
Well, no,
by
it,
special use
no,
permit?
it leaves it up to localities to manage it however they want to manage
Okay.
it. Had this passed, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
So,
right.
Yeah, that's well.
and the case you voted on would have gone the other way.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
So,
Sometimes the state just needs to stay where they are, not in the locality.
you don't want to get me started on that. Hey, a lot of those folks come out of local government and they kind of like forget what happened at the
Mhm.
local level.
They did pass a thing on site plans. We don't deal with site plans.
Site plans, I'm still trying to figure that one out.
State
Site plans is,
legislature,
yeah. It's becoming a very accelerated administrative process where
We still deal with it.
at this point, we don't get that many site plans, Mr.
Yeah, I
Chairman.
know-
You know,
I know
we
we
haven't,
don't,
we haven't gotten what I
we
call a
might
site
get-
plan since we've been here.
Yeah.
I've been here. But, we might be getting one.
Yeah.
We might be getting one. So, basically on the ADUs, right now, I think that what you've got in your ordinance is good. I mean, because you've got the control over it. I don't know what will happen next year or the year after, but in the interim, are there some standards that you want to put on ADUs? That you can,
I think we should consider it because I think this is an issue that is going to keep coming back over and over because of housing needs, for one thing, because there are so many people that need housing and don't have it. So I think we should at least explore it.
Tell me again.
additional dwelling unit, additional dwelling unit.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
out back, if you want to put a
Uh-huh.
tiny house out there.
Well, tiny houses and ADUs are considered to be different.
Well, I know, but it's
Yeah.
still, I'm just saying that it's basically the same thing. I mean, it's still a little house out there. So I'll say little
Well,
house instead of
The-
tiny
the
house.
way it is now, and what we were dealing with the application that we had was whether it was predicated upon there already being a primary residence, for one thing. And so, what's the ADU, what's the primary residence, and that makes a difference in terms sometimes of setbacks and other kinds of things. I think we should look at it and
Yes.
see what other localities are doing and see if there's something that makes sense. And if there isn't, then we don't do anything.
If there's a lot size they're allowed to,
Yeah.
is the
Right.
issue
I
here.
think that's.
Yeah.
Small lots.
That was
Right.
just way
A
too
lot of
small.
those.
And the one that failed, it was, that lot size would
Point
have,
two
would have met
Yeah,
the requirements of the failed legislation.
yeah, of the failed one.
So that's the kind of thing that maybe we should look at.
Yeah.
Is what do we think for our community? And
I think we've kind of
Um,
answered that a little bit right now too with this
I
resolution.
think so too.
So,
Yeah.
The small lots is that the activities that go on bleed into neighborhood activities and life.
You and I both know that quite well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And, if we could prevent that.
Yeah.
That would be okay.
Yeah, because we
I don't-
start
I don't want
saying,
People to be able to build a house on a lot.
Right.
I'm not, I
Right.
don't mean that, but
but if you've got, you know, a half acre, 3/4 of an acre, acre lot, and people can just get a permit, you can put 3 or 4 on there.
So if
3 or
you,
4
It's
ADUs.
generally just one AD.
So-
Even this only allowed
some.
one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, but again, that would be something that we would need to
Yeah.
think about.
this allowed only one ADU, but if you already had, and this could be the situation, if you had a non-conforming grandfathered situation,
Right.
if you had two primary buildings, residences on the same lot, you could not do an ADU.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and again, this is the legislation that
And I
failed.
think that was regardless of size of the lot.
Mhm.
Do you all want to run through this list and kind of give me I like it or I don't like it, you know, thumbs up, thumb down, feedback? If you look on page 18 of 29,
Yeah.
it's labeled as House Bill number 1832. You come down about line 24.
Mhm.
No more than one ADU located on a lot with a single family dwelling. I'll take it that would be okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right.
And I think that I would even say with an already existing single family dwelling.
So this is, right, so this is my question on that.
I think we start skipping around if you look down at,
If-
I'm sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
If you say you're gonna do this, that backs up, that doesn't back up what we're doing now.
Why does it? Why does it need to back up what we're doing now?
what role should planning?
Well, I
But
still think it would, because it doesn't say that you have. And if I'm getting it right, we're saying that you still would have to go through the special use permit, but you couldn't do more than one ADU.
Right.
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
So,
in your ordinance where it says you may apply for a special use permit for an ADU,
right,
provided, and then you put out those conditions. So if you have a provided that says you must have at least 3 times the minimum required square footage, I'm just throwing something out.
Right.
right.
If you don't have it, that
Don't even
that
ask.
stops it right there.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we probably need to study this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Where is the planning commission coming? Well, usually.
and the commission, as always, is basically an advisory body to
Right.
you. I have my experience, I have found it easier to give the planning commission and you rather than a blank piece of paper, something to chew
Yeah,
on,
yeah, I got
you
it.
know. It's that writer's thing,
Yeah.
Mr. Judy.
I got it.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe we should all just go through this, make notes,
And give them back to
and
me.
give them back to
Yeah,
you.
that works.
If that,
Yeah.
that.
Just
would
tell
be-
me, you kind of read
Yeah,
through,
that way we don't have to.
read through this in,
this one says failed.
just tell me which ones
Okay.
you like, which ones you don't like, and
In the.
kind of like the
packet.
priorities thing, if the scale tips one way or the other, I'll go with the majority.
Um,
It doesn't say.
changing the
Keep going.
ordinance for ADUs to have certain restrictions, and to go over this page 18, which has a failed bill, to see if any of these things make sense to incorporate into adjustments in our ordinance.
Now, the one that I would like to bring forward is also comes with a bit of an explanation. We have a new business coming into the town. It's Dockside Deli or Dockside New York Deli.
Yep.
He swears by his Reuben, but I named one of my kids Reuben, so I'll be the judge of that. The way that got permitted is because the restaurant that was in there previously had left within 2 years. So it was grandfathered. That's how I permitted it. Okay?
Where is this?
It's where the
Grill.
Portside Grill used to be. Okay? And because they came in within the 2 years, I signed off on it as a non-conforming grandfathered use. Because state code says, once the use ends, the clock runs for 2 years, and they were within the 2 years.
And this is how we've handled this before in the past.
What's that?
This is how we've handled it in the past.
But yeah, well,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can only speak to the time I've been here.
Time you-
Okay, so, looking that it fell within the 2-year period, I went ahead and issued the permit.
Right. Okay, good.
Restaurants are not permitted in the B2 district. And I
Right.
know a lot of people have said, we really need to have, I mean, we're a waterfront community
Mhm.
and people like to have that draw. I remember when the town's marina was a restaurant, or that site was a
Yeah.
restaurant,
Mhm.
when I was down in
You
Matthews.
need to change that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
That-
thinking.
That's where he was going.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was
And-
going.
And yes, and to answer your question, things like the wooden pickle and moving into that space and Little Jimmy's all were facilities that
thing.
would have had to have been
Right.
special use per.
Right.
But because of the
except-
2-year thing.
But
Yeah.
because they had been restaurants there before and the time period hadn't lapsed, they were approved by prior administrations for those uses.
Didn't we have to talk? Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. But it's okay.
We
Little
when-
Jimmy's.
When Patty's, where the sidewalk ends went in,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
that did
Yeah.
get the non-conforming use. And it was based on that approval that Wooden Pickle was able to move in.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay,
Maybe we need to look at that too.
Yes.
Allow restaurants in B2.
well,
Yeah.
that's kind of where
Tell
I've
us
been.
why not? You know, I mean, I don't, you know.
Yeah.
I was just kind of responding to feedback is like, if you're a waterfront community, where are your waterfront restaurants?
Right.
Exactly.
And if your zoning ordinance doesn't allow them, then
And that's
Yeah.
stupid.
Absolutely. We
Yeah.
need to change it if we can. I assume we can.
Yep.
and we don't know when we might get another opportunity.
Yeah.
All right,
That's right.
so unless you all have others, that's all that I have in this category to bring forward.
Nope.
You want to go to the parties? Shall we pursue to
Yeah,
the?
I
Okay.
Yes.
proceed to B.
All right. So, this is, the priority list review and update. And town council held a strategic planning session and developed, it says 8, it's actually 10 priorities for 2025 at its January 23rd work session. And this is sort of a mid-year, where are we? And there we go. All right.
Doesn't have a page number.
This was going to be on page 21 of 29.
The page just before the strategic planning starts.
In using my,
This one.
emergency management background,
That's what he's talking about.
I used a red, yellow, green concept, which means red is, it ain't working. It's behind the curve, okay? Yellow means you're making progress, but you're not there at green just yet. And then, green means it's looking pretty good.
But it doesn't help when you get a black and white.
Yeah.
See?
So, I was gonna say, is our packet because you're
For-
colorblind?
For,
Yeah.
because of my color blindness, you'll note on each one whether, and this is kind of, I'm going to say my opinion with staff input, whether or not it's red, yellow, or green, but it's written there in plain English. Okay.
Yeah, it's written
So-
there. We
So
can't
sad
tell
about
what's
the
what.
color.
So the first one, yes, it's,
Oh, I
it's the
see.
last word. It's the last word. All right. So I'm not going to read these
No.
all. I'm just, you can read them for yourselves. You know what they are.
Yep.
So, as to the purchase of this building, a timeline was set. It was moving along pretty well, and then it faltered. Last week. Oh. Well, if you, okay, yeah, I'll move over.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I'll take the order with me. Okay, so I'll speak from the side here.
Okay.
All right, you got me on the mic? Okay. As I said, the timeline held for a while, then it faltered. Council received some, information last week. That's going to be taken up later in the meeting, and that's really all I can say in public.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to the next one. The water system infrastructure upgrades and revenue source. Okay. So as field changes are found, cartograph is being updated. We have really been focused on closing out well number 3 at Tabor Park and, getting well number 6 online. We learned some lessons from big grant, that when we undertake grants in the future, it's not just about filling in the application and getting the money. It's got to be managed.
Yep.
It's got to be managed with all the staff that might be involved, knowing soup to nuts, where are we going? How are we going to get there? X, Y, Z. We have found no less than 4 separate paper files on just the big grant. It's just scattered all through the office.
Well, and we should be careful of grants because people consider it free money, but it's not. And there's a lot of hair attached to a grant. Just for instance, our trolley, we can't use for one of the most wonderful things of the year for the Christmas parade because the grant says that it can't be used for that. Now, how
Right.
ridiculous is that? So it sits there.
Right.
But
When we paid $180,000 to have brass handles on it.
their grant requires
I gotta shut up.
that they can't compete or with a private entity. So if folks haven't heard this before, so because there's a charge associated with the Polar Express, that negates the use of the trolley. If
That
they,
makes a lot of sense.
if they weren't charging, they could use the trolley.
Yep.
So I've got this at yellow because we are making some progress here. We know we've got more to do. But we've made some progress getting, I think the picture of the well turn-on was in there today. Thank you, Mr. Chuning. With some background on that. So we're making some progress here. More to be done.
Can I ask just real quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
I've had a number of citizens ask me why they weren't notified about the water being turned off a week ago,
Right.
Monday. And I know, I said, hey, it was on the town website. Several people said, we used to get phone calls saying that it was going to be turned off. What happened this time? I don't know. I'm just
Here-
saying.
Here's what happened this time. The county has changed its provider. And
The provider that we had went into the thousands. They raised their rate.
Oh,
Blackboard was purchased by another company and we made the financial choice not to renew it because it was just
okay.
way too expensive. So we started talking with emergency management through the county.
Mhm.
They are gonna allow us to piggyback.
Good.
Maribel and I have been working on the sheets. That's why we send out everything with the taxes.
Mhm.
So we're pretty much ready to go, but now the sheriff's department is moving. So we got
Oh,
delayed.
gosh. Okay.
And through some of the delays that have happened is the reason we didn't have it in time. So we went through some additional training. We will put out notifications to Facebook, the website, etc., that we will do a test.
Ah, good.
Okay,
Okay.
once it's 100%. We have uploaded the file again today. And there was a glitch in the file, so we go back and fix it.
Yeah.
But we are very, very
Okay.
close.
Good.
And we had decided that it will be a test. And the other thing we're waiting for is in the past, if we called and showed the town number and then everybody called us back. You called,
Mhm.
our
Oh.
phones blew up.
Oh,
They didn't listen to the voice message. So the company is trying to get us a free number.
Uh-huh.
And that's the number that will be displayed when the phone call goes out. So when they call back the number, they can hear the message that went.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So we,
That,
it delayed us, but we've built and added, because honestly, we don't want the phones blowing up in
No.
here.
Mhm.
Because we have to deal with the real emergency, not, I missed a call from you. So that's a solution, but now we're waiting on that number.
okay. So it's in the works.
It's
you know,
good.
this
Great.
cutoff was, if you'll recall, there was a short cutoff on Thursday
Mhm.
before.
Yes.
And when we realized how extensive it was, we stopped the project so that we could do the notifications. And we did Facebook, we did the website. We figured a lot of people would be at the pool.
Oh,
We put notices up at the pool. I was able to call in a favor and get a notice put up at the library.
uh-huh.
So we had notices, all the places we could. We called all the big water users, the restaurant, and just to let them know,
Tried
this
based
is-
on what
yeah.
could be done.
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen. But basically the reason nobody got phone calls is the system that we had is no longer there.
Definitely.
We're moving to a different system. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm happy to answer. Okay. moving on to the, increased pool revenues. Okay, this one's a red. We tried increasing, making the offers for pool parties. I think we've gotten a third since this slide deck was done. We only had one company willing to, for, just $50, hang up a banner. So if we had gone higher in the prices, I'm not so sure we've gotten anything more. The idea of businesses extending employee memberships, no one took us up on that. The next round of improvements, like the slide and perhaps an aeration system, to try to cool the water down, may have to come out of the Tabor Fund.
Okay.
And then, we had a special events committee meeting today, but we went long looking at the July event. There was some thought that maybe we could, do a fundraiser at the end of the year, or maybe next year, to try to bolster up just having some scratch for the pool.
Oh, I'll speak on this because I seem to have stepped into it. It's the best way. I'm working on the slide thing, and I do see that the pool is a new facility. It's kind of getting on its feet, and working on trying to get something like a slide. Feel like there is a possibility, at least I've had my eyes open to it, that we could turn that facility, to be attractive enough to really bring people into it.
Yeah.
As of right now, it's a wading pool that you can swim around a little bit. It's really great for the swim team, and it brings the swim team turnout was huge this year when the thunderstorms didn't hit it. So, I mean, that brings quite a bit of business to the town, but it doesn't show directly on the revenue of the pool itself.
Mhm.
So I'll say that. And then as the finance committee, we can do to whatever committee we want, but we did, as Ted say, set some rates for the pool parties and that sort of thing. And actually, my kids had a party there this year and it went great, a lot of fun. And so I can see that growing, and I'm hoping with some improvements, hopefully we can use some Tabor Fund money to get something like a slide in there and whatever we can think of in the future and turn the pool around. So it's not I don't want to see it become a giant financial burden for our town.
Yep.
But at this point, we've sunk the big money in building it. So
Right.
we got to figure out how to keep it.
Well, and just because business memberships and banners and those kinds of things didn't work this year doesn't mean we shouldn't give it another
Yeah,
go.
Oh, exactly.
We just put them up. I mean, it's
Right.
Yeah, yeah, we just gotta keep pushing.
Right.
Yep.
We gotta, we have to do the work.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to do the work.
trying.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Resolve Virginia Street Terminus. I went ahead and made this one green. You could argue it's yellow because the work hasn't been completed, but it's heading in the right direction. The decisions have been made. A lot of decisions have been made about keeping it, letting it go. Those decisions are out the way. It's just a matter of working with the Northern Neck Native Plant Company to get the plants in. And he's working around and coordinating with the condominium project.
Yeah.
So they've had to, dig over in there to work up the wall.
Yeah, we really need to thank Susan Armentrout for introducing him to us and us to him. That was great for her.
All right, the next one. All right, if you read this one like it's written, Independence Day fireworks, large cost estimate with engagement vendor. If that's all you had, I'd tell you it was black. It wasn't even red.
Yeah.
It was dead. But I think with council member Justice's help finding the drone show, and the fact that I tried to lock in the band last year, that it was a nice pivot. Most of the comments have been very positive.
Mhm.
We had a special events committee today in a meeting, and we looked at, okay, what were some of the negatives, like people couldn't hear. If you weren't right at the marina, it was hard to hear. But we're looking at 2 or 3, in fact, we got a new one that popped up today, 2 or 3 different ways to try to fix that.
Ted's gonna walk around with a megaphone?
Yeah. That's only for the announcements. You can't move your car. Okay. So that's kind of where that one is. I think that was one that I would say, that was a touchdown.
Yes.
Okay.
I certainly got mostly positive feedback.
Yep.
I got half and half.
I'm just glad it wasn't fireworks, honestly, because my lab was already having a stroke when they all started
Oh.
before, so,
It was our first times we had to learn.
yeah.
This
I
time.
just had a hard time justifying the price for, I mean, almost $20,000 for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's just a lot of money.
it is a lot of money in our,
Yep.
in our budget.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
yeah.
It was better really than
Yeah,
nothing
so
because we sure got
fireworks.
a lot of gruff for not having something, so
Yeah, I thought it was cool. for a day.
unfortunately, that was, what we had to do, so.
I know a lot of pet owners were happier.
Yes,
Yeah,
my 90-pound lab thinks he's a puppy, so that was not very comfortable.
All right,
All right, moving on to the next one. Support for the Oyster Festival. Um, there's some thought that the Special Events Committee could, come up with some things to work with the foundation.
Yep.
We have resolved a access issue. It didn't go the way that the Oyster Festival would have hoped, but it's been resolved. It's been put to bed. And we also considered
what-
doing a logo
what-
on the water tank. That was, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'll forget. What, you were just talking, what did you just say?
Access.
Yeah, what access?
The
Oyster,
access,
the Oyster Road access.
Okay.
Yeah.
right, the access going from the Gilded Crown back to Oyster Road
Right.
for
okay,
emergency vehicles, that has been denied.
Right.
So they've gone to an alternate plan.
Been denied by who? The owners of the
By
marina?
by the.
Property owners.
Well, can't this, I mean, it's dangerous. Can't the county do something?
No,
I've had direct
I mean,
conversations.
I would think the fire department wouldn't allow it.
I've had direct conversations with the sheriff and he is wholeheartedly in agreement with the opinion that unless you are an adjacent landowner, you have no skin in the game. So because we don't own any property along Oyster Road or that section in the,
I don't care what they say, it's dangerous.
But it's
There's
the-
there is nothing you can justify for doing that.
And it's
for
a private
telling me.
road, so.
So, I mean, there's no way to get to those, condos or the marina. I would think it would be,
other than coming down Virginia and
Virginia Street.
take a right.
yeah.
that's the only access. Virginia Street in and out.
I know, yeah.
Well, whatever catches fire will burn down by then.
They can
Yeah.
always drive through the chain, so if they had the
Yeah,
fire
it
truck to
doesn't make
take it
any
through the
sense.
chain, so.
They do everything else. The foundation runs every aspect of this town. They own it for a weekend
Well,
and we make no money, which drives me completely out of my mind.
but the
I mean, we
Oyster-
shouldn't have, we should get enough money. There was a study from William and Mary 25 years ago that determined there was something around $12 million spent in Urbanna Oyster Festival. That was 15 or 20 years ago. I can't imagine what it is now. We don't make any money. I mean, at least if we could get something to pay for the pool, just doesn't make any sense. We talk about economic development, but we have the queen of economic development. It's the Urbanna Oyster Festival. And we are nothing but inconvenienced. We make no money on that. End of my rant.
Well, we do get some, some benefit from it, and I'll say, I'll give
We
you,
don't.
okay.
Sorry.
Would the
Okay.
rest of council
Yeah,
like to hear the
Yeah,
opinion?
yeah.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
need to
Move forward.
Let me comment on that. Nonprofits make tons of money. Which is the reason
That's the point.
that I put up with, dealing with the inconvenience of the Oyster Festival.
But that doesn't bother me nearly as much as the town makes nothing.
Yeah, I get it, and there should be some, but the other side of it is the foundation doesn't make anything off of it.
Well, then they're not very good business people.
Well,
Because when there's 20 or $30 million rolling around this town on a weekend.
but part of it
Doesn't
is,
make
is
sense.
that just like you said about this access thing, Ted,
Mhm.
where the sheriff said this and this and this, the cost of running this thing has gone up. And to a large degree, it's gone up. Sheriff's Department has gone up tremendously, and it just looks like to me, probably shouldn't say this publicly, but it looks like to me that we have outside forces that are trying to bring this thing under control and maybe I mean, I don't see how if we have 2 years of rain. How the Oyster Festival Foundation was, maybe they should come in and tell us this, but they never have in all the years I've been on council. How are they gonna survive? My fear is they're gonna come to us and want money and we don't have any money.
No.
You know,
And I think they
But
know
yet-
that too,
but yet-
so.
it's so important in other ways.
Well, if it gets so big that they can't handle it, and they don't know how to run it, and they're losing tons of
it's a-
money, then
it's-
I'll have to go back to Urbana days type thing.
it-
It'll have to become.
It's not a question of having
veteran.
money to run it, and we're off track here.
Yes.
But, it, it does provide, it's an advertisement for the town that helps people know those restaurants are there and they do come back.
Nobody denies that. It's
And-
crazy
and
that there's
so-
no money.
So
Town.
that comes back to us in meals taxes. We do get some meals taxes. What do we get in meals taxes in a?
It's in the budget. I don't remember.
Just
From the festival
Yeah.
itself. And then go talk to somebody like Sarah Gill and she'll tell you that she has all the repeat customers
Right.
that came here for the festival and then come back later.
Yeah, there are a lot of positive things.
Yep.
about
Right.
It's just a matter of whether it can
But that's-
sustain itself.
That's off topic and we need to move on. Okay.
yes.
Back to you, Mr. Costa.
All right, yeah, I will note that, we have worked last year with two of the Queen candidates on projects. One was a disability swing at the playground and one was park benches so we do get some things, in that we don't have to buy ourselves. All right, next one is zoning enforcement. And I guess what I want to say here is there's a comparison between what occurred in 24 and what you've got halfway through 25. That zoning enforcement is not just responding to complaints. It's dealing with the people that come in and want a zoning clearance because they're building a shed, they're building a house, they're doing something. Okay, so and I'll also note, starting in 24, every single one or two exceptions, every single business license that was applied for came across my desk for zoning compliance. And if you'll remember, to clean up some of the home occupation stuff, we had to do a zoning ordinance amendment. So that's what zoning enforcement looks like. Again, we're complaint basis only. And if we went to active enforcement, you're going to probably have to hire a second person.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there. I ride by stuff every day and, All right, so yellow's just basically ongoing. Will it ever be green? Probably not, All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so earlier I made a reference to, what was a touchdown. This is a touchdown with a Lambeau leap. If I could make this Green Bay Packer green, it would be Green Bay Packer green. I mean, this was huge. We did a lot of work to close down that gap and collected the money. And that involved in a few cases,
Good job.
Yeah,
talking
good job.
the talk and walking the walk and actually turning valves off. And once we did one or two of those, that as I expected, that as Jimmy Buffett would say, the coconut telegraph went into work and people were hearing, hey, they're serious this time.
Yeah, Maribel and Steve did a great job
Yep, and Michelle.
taking care of that, Michelle.
Everybody involved in
That,
that.
you
Yeah,
know,
everybody.
that brought in a significant amount of money into
Mhm.
the town. So thank you.
That was owed.
Yeah,
That was owed.
yes, right.
We got
It's a
set.
penalty in the interest. For the next one, this is really, hasn't moved that much. The draft is with the attorney and, the attorney has spoken about a, pay plan. But that's pretty much been where that is. And I think that's a conversation for another time,
Yep,
as is the next one.
yep.
So if you'll skip to the last slide. My tally is 2 red, 4 yellow, 4 green. So midway point. I would like to think we'll get at least one of the reds moved up.
Well, I'll say it, I've said it 1,000 times. If we can't get this building straight, then we've got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. At what point? do you decide? You've had enough. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, it has to
Right.
happen before December.
It does.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we lose.
Went into
we
closed
lose
session about it.
funds.
All right,
Oh, I didn't know if she.
moving on. Announcements, anyone?
I have a request. Well, I'll make first announcements. We have second Saturdays next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
They're not,
Ray Pittman will be there, which I'm very excited about. I love Ray Pittman. He's came to all of our events so far.
he's been everyone.
But I also have a request, and I guess that would go to Ted, for some signage
Yes.
at
We
the
need some.
at the pavilion. Folks are taking their grills under and grilling under the pavilion,
Oh.
and some of the fires have been kind of high, so we don't want our new pavilion burned to the ground. So if we can just
What if well, could we just get some of those campground grills? Actually,
I mean, yeah, I mean, but right now we need
Yeah.
signs.
yeah,
And
don't
keep
set the
people-
PVC on fire.
Yeah, to get people from under there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's,
I started looking at those campground grills.
Yeah,
just
I
thinking of a
looked.
concrete thing. I was trying to find a couple.
Yeah, I see the ones I looked at were on the pole.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
Okay.
they also have the ones that look like a fire pit too. But we definitely need to keep people from barbecuing under there so that they don't
Barbecue or pavilion.
burn down our new pavilion. So, and the tables, we started leaving them out and leaving them like in a half circle from under the pavilion because for one, it takes 4 people to move one.
Very
They're very heavy. It was brought to the attention of putting them back, but when we were putting them back, somebody was
moving them.
moving them back out. So we just decided we would leave them, put them in a half circle in front, which is what you see now. We can drag them around, but we just can't lift them to carry them back in. So, just so everybody knows why they're not under the pavilion at this point. Of course, at the end of the year, I guess we can try to get them back, get 4 or 5 people to try to help because it takes men. I'm not able to do that anymore. So, but I really think that's about it on this end.
Any announcements, Michelle? Christine? Okay,
Okay, no.
No.
all right. We need to go into a closed meeting this evening. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you for staying. That was nice that you didn't get up and, that you just didn't get up and leave us. But please,
It's not generating like it should.
please let me know if anybody's able to.
I just finished the water aerobics,
Okay.
done through the
Only
clock.
happens for
It's
like
going on now for
30
the second
minutes.
session.
Oh, where'd you?
They cannot, they love,
Okay.
they love art.
I'll look on there, but thank you. It
Good.
just happens for a little
wish
bit
I
of
could
time.
Don't know that-
I'm on immunotherapy
Well-
for my cancer.
James, show us.
We,
So-
we knew it was gonna cost us.
No, that's when I just get it that little bit every afternoon.
They give you a town council.
So,
Oh, do you think so?
All right.
okay, great. Thank you so much.
We do. I think so.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Are we supposed to make it clear to people that they can
Joe.
come back in after?
Oh,
the-
yeah, I should have said.
Yeah.
If you guys want to come back in after the closed
yeah,
meeting,
you
you're
open
certainly
the
welcome.
door. You're certainly welcome too.
Leave. I'd go home and have a beer.
Well,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Christy.
Want me to close this?
I'll.
No, we'll get it, Christy. Don't you worry about it.
One piece will have staff and just.
What are we in closed session about?
There's a couple things. One is,
You need to make a motion first.
yeah, I need to make a motion.
Larry's coming back right now.
And it's in the motion.
Okay,
If you read the motion.
Read it.
where's the motion? I haven't seen
Page
anything.
28. The page numbers are at the
Right
top
here.
right.
Yeah,
top
page 28.
Are you ready? I just,
What are we waiting for?
what are we waiting for?
think
I
we
don't
can make a
know.
Motion now.
Okay, I move that the town of Urbana Town Council convene a closed meeting in accordance with section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia to discuss the assignment, performance, salaries, and other recommendations from the Personnel Committee regarding concerns raised by specific staff members, and to discuss the contractual agreement of appointment of a specific appointee, and in accordance with section 2.2-3711A3 of the Code of Virginia, to discuss or consider the acquisition of real property for public purpose, 390 Virginia Street, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the council.
So moved.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let the closed meeting begin.
I move that the town of Urbana Town Council reconvene in open session. Is there a second?
Second,
Second.
sorry.
Better second.
Voice vote?
It's I so certified.
I so,
That's right.
I so certify.
And that we own
The next,
two different motions. These are two
Okay,
different
okay,
motions.
okay.
Now, I move that the town council of the town of Urbana approve standing resolution 1 in accordance with section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia, 1950 as amended, certifying that the closed meeting was conducted in conformity with the requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Second?
Second,
Okay, any discussions? Okay, and clerk roll call.
Ms. Austin,
I so certify.
Mr. Channing,
I so certify.
Ms. Courtney,
So certifying.
Mayor Holtzman,
I so certify.
Ms. Pam,
I so certify.
Justin.
I so certify.
I so certify.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Margie?
Motion to adjourn.
Yay. Second.
Aye.
Aye. Like a pirate.
Take care. Is this something we're supposed to hand